discuss the head builder in this video. So of course I need to get a stone out there that we can work with. So I'll get a large round out there. We'll go to the setting menu and throw that into the head builder. Okay, obviously right off the bat we should point out here that you have different profiles for the prong shapes and the rail shapes there. We could certainly alter those at any time. Now it's giving us a default of 2 rails and 4 prongs. That is because 2 rails is highlighted here. We could alter that to a different number of rails, and then also mode, it's defaulting to the 4 prongs here. You've got 3 and 6 and so forth. You can change it to whatever you would like. Now, as you work on these builders, especially when you get going on them, it's good to practice with just some typical type of setups. So 4 prongs, 2 rails is good to really practice on. Now, there is actually 4 levels of control with the head builder. And we can see that level 1 is called overall control. And if we start running these sliders, we can see what they do. The prong size is going to, as we run that slider, it's going to change all 4 prongs at the same time. The head drop is going to change the overall height of this head. We have prong nudge, how much the prongs are going to overlap that gem. The dome height here, you could certainly alter that. For rendering, you might want to run that up so it has a real nice dome on the top of those prongs. Rail drop is going to move just the upper gallery up and down there. Height above girdle, this is of course very important for manufacturing. You're going to want to be sure you have enough material on those prongs. So you might want to run that up to the desired amount. Head angle is going to change the overall head angle, so we can make it steeper or more straight up and down. And then the last one is top angle, which allows us to bow those prongs out slightly at the top only or in. And the nice thing about this is the gallery rails go with it. So you're not going to end up having those not touching when you're done. Okay, so that's level 1. Gives you very basic overall control of your head. The next level up, level 2, has to do with the prongs and the rails. And if we were to click on, notice the P and the R out there on the screen. If we were to click on, say, the P, okay, it's going to activate the controls for dealing with only the prongs. It's going to leave the rails alone. And so now, once we have P selected, it's going to give us prong options here. So we have 3 prong options. We could change the size and shape of these basically by changing the prong on the X or the Y axes relative to the prong itself. It's going to change all 4 at one time. And then even the prong nudge when we're done with that. So if I wanted to work on the rails, I would click on R. And here's our chance to affect those the same way. It's going to change both rails at the same time. And you can change one direction at a time. Okay, the offset, if you don't like the default offset of the interaction with the prongs, that's a good slider. And rail drop is going to move just that upper rail up and down for you, like so. So very basic controls there for dealing with just prongs or just rails. The next level up, level 3, deals with top and bottom prong control, meaning I could change the top of all these prongs separately from the bottom. So I could end up having them taper down at the bottom if I wanted in this level. So let's activate this P. And notice there is another P at the bottom here. So if I wanted to change all the prongs at the bottom, I would use that P. But we activated the top one. So whatever we do here will alter only the tops and leave the bottoms alone. Okay? If we wanted the angle to change, we could run these sliders here, these white spheres, and what it's going to do is whenever you have a prong angle, it's going to affect only two prongs at a time. They're grouped up into sets of two, and so you just have to run them to know which two are going to be controlled. Okay, having trouble with that one. Okay, but those two are together. If we took that rail, there's two R's, one for the upper rail, one for the lower. I'm going to click on the R to change this upper one. That way, I could alter this one independently of anything else. You can end up with a very unique look by doing things in level 3 here. Okay, so the last level, of course, is going to give you the most control, level 4, and it's called full independent control. Now, let's zoom in here so we have a little better control of how we work on this. Uh, Not only do we have a P for the upper prong and a P for the lower prong, but we could change every single prong independently of the other prongs, as well as the angle. If I ran this prong angle, it's going to affect only the one prong, not the sets of two. So anything you want to do, you can get done in level 4. Now, at any time throughout the different levels, we have these little icons right here. And if I was to click on this, it's going to toggle that over to the half bezel shape. So it's going to switch it over to that for us. Now, once we get it into that, we can change the thickness of that. So let's go down to P for the bottom. Okay, and now that I've switched that one over at the bottom, it says V prong edge angle. That's going to allow me to change the thickness, and it's only going to change it at the bottom. So likewise, if I would like to alter the thickness at the top after I finish the bottom, I could click on the P to activate the top of this prong or half bezel. And then I have two controls for the top as well. One sphere deals with simply the angle of the entire prong, and then the other sphere deals with the V prong edge angle, meaning I can change the thickness of this. So at any point you can do that. It may affect more than one prong at a time. In level 4, it's going to give us complete control of that from top to bottom as well. Now, if I want to work with styles, I could go over to the styles menu here. And styles are very important for if you want to work with a basic shape. We may have a shape already in the library for you. We start you off with 8 per gem size, or per gem shape rather, And if I just simply click on one of these images, it's going to give you the style that we've created for that one. So each one of these is going to have a different look to it. So you can scroll through and see which one you would like. If you like any one of them, you simply click the green arrow, and you're back to not only starting with that style, but then you can certainly alter it any way you would like. So it's just a good starting point for you to work with. So let's jump back down to level 2. Okay, and the prong angle at level 2 is going to uh, take care of both sets of prongs at the same time. So perhaps we want to make something um, just a little different. So we'll just alter this a little bit. Okay, beef up the prongs a little bit. Then we want to add this to our styles library as our own piece. So we would go to styles and we would click on the plus sign. Now we allow you to put in 8 of your own. So if I click on the plus sign, it's going to take me into the head library. It knows that I'm working on a 4-prong head. I can simply give it a name that means something for that project or that style, hit save, and now it's going to be loaded in here. You're not going to see the icon, these are ours, but it will be loaded into your library.